Okay, in this one, in lesson 5, we're looking at decomposing fractions and finding equivalents. So we've already done quite a bit with equivalents. We've already done quite a bit with decomposing. So now we're going to kind of put those two big ideas together. So we're going to start off, we're looking at this picture. So if you look at the columns, that's the up and down ones here, they have 1 shaded in out of 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how they got their original fraction of 1/4. So cut into 4 pieces. 1. They added that line right here. So now there's 2 pieces. So all they did was add that horizontal line, and you're decomposing or breaking it into smaller pieces. And now we have 2 pieces colored in, and they want to know how many total. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1/4 is equivalent to 2/8. And how could you write that? You could also say 1/4 is equivalent to 1/8 plus 1/8. Which is equivalent to 2/8. Sorry about my handwriting on this one. That's a little messy. Another way to do it is look at that multiplication, just like we did in lesson 3. How many times did I write 1/8 down? I wrote it 2 whole times. So you could say 2 times 1/8 is equal to 2/8. So we're have a picture just like we've been doing, but we're going to decompose it or break that picture down into smaller pieces. It's still equivalent. It doesn't matter if you get 1/4 or 2 out of 8. They're the same amount. And then we're going to decompose it with addition and multiplication. So a couple steps here. Let's take a look at the next one here. So they want us to break it into 2 rows. Right now they've got them in columns, and columns is the up and down, and so their first column is 1 colored in out of 5. So their fraction is 1/5. They want me to break this into 2 rows, and 2 rows is that horizontal line. I need to have 2 sections here. So I'll break it right in half as close as I can. And now that's equivalent to how many pieces? Well, now there's 1, 2 that are colored in out of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And those are equivalent. All I did was break those pieces into smaller bits or decompose them. So then they're going to want us to break that 1/5 into unit fractions. How many pieces do we add them to? Well, we've got 1/10. That's this piece right here. And 1/10. That's this piece right there. And those, when you add those together, make 2/10. Another way to write that down, excuse me, is with multiplication. So really 1/5 is the same as 2 1/10. And that's the same as 2/10. These are all equivalent. So I wrote 1/10 2 times to write 1/10. And when I multiply those together, I take my whole number times my numerator, and I just keep that denominator the same. Multiplying a whole number by a fraction is pretty simple. Adding fractions is pretty simple. Keep that common denominator, add the numerators. I like this one here because this one's a little bit different. Now they're going to have us do a different picture. This one happens to be 1/3. Because 1 is colored in out of 3. I'm going to change that color up because I don't have a lot of room. And they want us to make 4 rows. They want me to split this into 4 pieces. And so we've done fourths before. I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to cut my half in half. That original 1/3 now has 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces colored in, and a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'm going to break that into unit fractions, that 1/3. is the same as 1/12, 1/12, 1/12, and 1/12. So I'm going to add all of those 1/12s together. And there's my adding my unit fractions. But I'm also going to show it as multiplication. So how many times did I write 1/12? I wrote it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Remember, that's our repeated addition. 4 whole times 1/12. And of course, that still equals 4/12. If 1/3 is equivalent to 4/12, then these are all equivalent. Let's take a look at the next page. This time you're drawing the area models. So you draw the picture, you show the decomposition, and let's write those number sentences. So they're giving you the equivalent fraction. The first one they want us to draw in this case is 1/2. So I'm going to use those columns. I'm going to color, oops, wrong one. I'm going to color in 1/2. And they wrote my fraction. They want us to make it into 6. So that means I've got to cut this into 3 equal rows to make 1, 2, 3 out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I also have to write the addition, the unit, and so that would be 1/2 is equal to 1/6 plus 1/6 plus 1/6, which is another way of saying 3/6. And as a multiplication, I wrote 1/6 3 times, which equals 3/6. So here we have our picture. That's our first fraction. Just draw the picture. The next one, I had to change it in the 6, so I figured out that had to be 3 rows. And then I draw my unit fraction in my multiplication sentence that goes with it. And I think we should be okay. Please don't hesitate to ask questions, guys.